Let me just let some people come on in here. I hope they will. Nobody here yet. And let me get this moved out of the way over here. All right, there's a couple people here. Who's here with me? Can you guys hear me okay? Can you see me all right? Hey, Danny, how are you? Dave, how are you? Thank you guys for being here. Tammy, how are you? I'm just going to give it a few seconds for some people to join. As you're coming in, if you wouldn't mind, help out the algorithm and give me a thumbs up, okay? Good. I'm glad everybody can hear me. Big Reggie, Steve, Tammy, Kevin, Derek, thanks for coming in. I really appreciate it. This is, again, impromptu. I didn't really schedule this or plan it, but I I just wanted to give everybody sort of an update on what's been going on with me here. Hey, Randy, how are you? I've had some big changes in my day job, which you guys know I'm basically focused on video full time now. Hey, Ricardo, how are you? But I had to move my office, for my other business to the house, and this now is my office here at home, and I'm trying to make the live stream set up a little bit cooler in case I want to do this. So I put up a TV in the corner. I finally got to hang one of my signs that one of my friends made for me with the Everyday Barbecue logo on it. But all that stuff has taken up so much of my time, and I've created content for S&S Grills. I've created content for El Yucateco, but my channel has been neglected a little bit. I haven't had a video for, I think, about 3 weeks, and that's going to change because I have plans to film this week and hopefully post Saturday. But this project, getting this stuff home, has been incredibly difficult and time consuming, and man, I'm finally almost done. I mean, it's amazing, how much stuff that there still is to do, but I can function now with my my other job or my other business. I can function here from my home office now, which is nice, but it took time and I had to get help. 24 people here. Thanks everybody for being here. Type something here. Let me know who's here, and hit that thumbs up for me if you haven't already. It does help with the YouTube algorithm. I would really appreciate it. There, Kevin's helping me out with that. Please remember to do that if you can. And let's see, Isaac, how are you? San Antonio. And we've got Lulu from the UK. How are you? Thank you very much for being here. Richard is here. Ricardo, Randy, Tammy, I've called out. Derek, Danny, thanks again for being here. Big Reggie. So, yeah, it's been. Hey, Randall, how are you? Chris, how are you? It's been a crazy, stretch for me here for lots of things, and I'm finally settling into working working from home with pretty much everything, and it's been a hard transition. But my channel has suffered, the consequences by not having a lot of content. So that's on me, because I just haven't had the time, and maybe I should have put other things aside and made time. But I'm hopeful that I'll get back on a regular schedule here. And those of you that have followed me for a long time know, all the unfortunate things that have happened over the last year. So just so many changes in my life, so much transition, and it's been a little bit tough. Far Beyond Barbecue, how are you? Isaac, shawarma chicken. That's an outstanding recipe that I did for S&S Grills, Isaac. I love it. As a matter of fact, I just made some, I think, a couple weeks ago. My wife wanted it, and we did it. So it was, I don't know if I posted pictures or not, but man, was it amazing. Troy is here from Bridgeview, Illinois. Troy. Saucy Bottom, what's up, my friend? How are you? Aldo, thank you very much for being here. Appreciate it. All the way from Tijuana, Mexico. Hear a lot of fun stories from friends of mine that live down in San Diego about Tijuana, a lot of partying and stuff like that. So I'm probably too old for that stuff, but maybe someday we'll see. Okay, South Suburbs. Cool, Troy. Awesome, man. Thanks for being here. I really appreciate it. You know, I'm from North Central. Well, I'm not from North Central Illinois. I'm from the suburbs, the northwest suburbs, and I live out here in, you know, North Central Illinois now, just a little bit south of the Wisconsin border. Big Reg, where are you at that it's 112, dude? That's crazy. I mean, it was hot here. Like we've had uncommonly, and I think this is across the country, but we've had uncommonly hot weather. You know, this June, it's been amazingly hot. I'm going to drag this chat over to this other monitor here so that I'm kind of looking closer to you guys. Yeah, it was amazingly hot for like the last week or 10 days. I mean, so hot that it was just uncomfortable to a point. And we had, my son plays baseball for a couple different teams, and so, you know, being outside, I have a Yeti that I bought like a year ago and I hadn't used, and this is the first time I used it over this last week because that was the only way I could keep any cool liquids close, you know, for all those hours of being outside. Marty, how are you? Hey, from Schaumburg, man. One of my favorite places, actually. Woodfield Mall, and lots of great restaurants, which I think people can eat in now again. That's nice. Let's see, stormy in Montreal. That kind of sucks, but we, you know, actually, I'm kind of looking for some rain here. It's been dry. It's been really hot and really dry, so we're kind of in need of some rain. We got okay, cool. 32 people, so more and more people are coming in. Hey, if you're here and you just came in, if you haven't hit the thumbs up, do me a favor and smash that for me, or smash it, whatever. That's so YouTubey. Just click it. And let me know who's here. Type in the comments. Let me know who's here so that I know. Last week was 106. Yeah, it's too hot, man. I can't deal with, you know, here in Illinois. And I was talking to my son about this because we were having a conversation the other day about, you know, when he goes to college. He's just going into 8th grade now. And, you know, I'm thinking he'll probably get a scholarship for baseball. He's a really good baseball player. And I guess whatever school he chooses, I was thinking that might be a good time for like our family to pick up and move and maybe go to wherever it is that he goes. So, you know, we'll see. But we were talking about that, and we kind of like all 4 seasons. You know, we like having all 4 seasons because you look forward to each one of them for a different reason. So if we were to move somewhere south and, you know, you kind of miss winter a little bit or fall, and, you know, I mean, I'm not sure. I've never done that, but I think it would be a little bit weird. Hey, Guga's here. Sous vide everything. Thank you very much, Guga, for checking in. I really appreciate you, man. Thank you for being here and supporting me. It means a lot to me. Let me see. Dan's here. Big Reggie, I already called out. Dan, another Dan, and we have Ash here. Always miss the live chats. Finally saw. Yeah, and I'm sorry I don't do enough. Thank you, Guga. I appreciate it, man. I would say you're the man, though. You know what I mean? Your channel's slightly bigger than mine, and your videos are a little better than mine, too. A little bit better, right? I'd say a ton better. You do an outstanding job, man. I could only dream of making that good content like you do, but I really do appreciate your support. It means a lot to me that you're here, and I do thank you very much for that. Yeah, cold all the time would stink, Troy. When are we cooking together? Man, I don't know. You tell me. Hey, I'm going to be down in Cape Coral at the end of July and into the first week of August. And I don't know. You're in Miami. I know you're in Miami, so I don't know how far you are from there. But man, I'd love to connect with you. You know, I really would. It'll be, I think, July 29th to August 5th or 6th, if I'm not mistaken. I got to check the dates. I don't know. I booked an Airbnb, and it was like all the time I could get. I couldn't get any longer than that. So that's what we booked. Maybe we're thinking about stopping, you know, up towards Orlando on the way back, but we'll see. We'll see. Yeah, Ash, it's tough. I was explaining to everybody, you know, that I'm I converted to full-time video. That I told you guys I was doing that, you know, a couple months back, and I did. And but I still had my other business running and operating. And what I have been working on has been moving that business to home, because I had an office. I still have it for now, but that'll be done shortly. And I needed to be able to function from home because, you know, I still get jobs. I still get work from that, and that's kind of like a, you know, a secondary thing for me now. But it helps out with bills when there's work, so I take it. And I needed to get set up here at home in order to do it, so I'm glad that I did. Let me see what Guga said. Hit me up when you're down here. I will. You know what, Guga? Dude, I don't have your number. I know you don't want to post it on here, but if you want to email me, it's everydayfamilybbq@gmail.com, and I'll put it in my phone, and I will text you when I'm down there, you know. That week you're mentioning I might be in Vegas, but that's fine. Even if I don't connect with you, it's fine, but I would really love to. And oh, dude, you're a huge fan of me. Come on. That's the other way around, you know. It's the other way around. You got to give me some of your secrets to this YouTube algorithm, because my channel has been really been treated a little bit like a stepchild, it seems like, over the last few months. And I know I've been absent a lot with the loss of my dad and lots of other stuff, but you know, I would really love for things to be better, you know, view-wise and everything. So maybe someday I can bend your ear on that. I would really appreciate it if you had time for me. Mike, thank you very much. Ash, yeah, man, I would love to cook with Guga. I would love to cook with Guga. My buddy Baby Back Maniac's in the house. Justin, how are you, man? I just finished, when you called me earlier, I mean, I know you can't see much except for whatever I have set up behind me, but I kind of got my home office set up. I've been working on this for the last couple of weeks, and when you called, I had my closet, which, you know, any YouTube cooks know that so much stuff gets sent to you, and I had this big, messy, cluttery closet, and I was dragging everything out of there so that I could reorganize and get stuff put in there so that I had room to get my setup here. And you know, for anybody who's into any computer stuff or anything like I am with my former day job, I have counters set up along this whole wall, KVM switches, monitors, network attached storage, and all these different things here so that I can work on 5 or 6 machines at once, you know, in the event that I had that much work. I used to, but it's different now. Either way, I really like to have this done now, and it just feels so much better in here. And I wanted to just kind of go live and exhale a little bit and just let everybody know, you know, kind of what's been going on. Let me see here. Grill Sergeant Guga. Yeah, man, Guga's hit up a couple of my live streams. I really look up to him a lot, so it's an honor to have him here. Him and Justin. Justin's been killing it, man. Justin's been killing it. Baby Back Maniac. And if you're here, then you already know who those guys are. But if you don't, for some really weird reason, click on their names and go subscribe to those channels like immediately, because you're going to see content that's way better than mine. Because if you like mine, those are, you know, 100 notches up. Let's connect. Keep up the hard work, Mike. It all pays off. Yeah, I appreciate that, Google. Believe me, I'll never quit. I always look at this as a marathon and not a sprint. It's a long-term thing, and it sometimes is going to grow fast and sometimes it slows down. But believe me, I'm not going anywhere. And those are words of wisdom, and I appreciate it. And I'm very blessed to have you here in the chat tonight. You know, both you and Justin and everybody else. Let me see. Mike, Baby Back Mini, and Google all in the same chat. That's pretty cool, man. I have to say. Dave, yeah, you know, Justin's barbecue crawl videos, those were on point, man. Those were great. I watched his other release last night, and just, you know, Justin always so much attention to detail and storytelling and entertainment, and he does such a good job with any video that he puts out. But those barbecue crawl videos, they had a mixture of, you know, some comedy, some entertainment, obviously the food, and I thought they did a really good summary of the review of the different restaurants, and they did a good job explaining why they liked one more than the other, or how they ranked it. So it was really entertaining. And I got to get down to Franklin's. When I was down there and I first met Justin actually in Dallas, that was 20. Justin, was it 2019 or 2018, brother? I think it was 2018. God, it's been forever. Or was it 2019? I think it was 2019. But anyway, I only was there for 2 or 3 days. I can't remember. And I brought my family with me. So I brought 2019. That's right. That's right. So I brought my family with me. I had my wife and my 3 kids, and I promised them that I would spend a day with them and a day with the guys. And so it was, I met up with Justin, Troy, Greg from Ballistic Barbecue, and Chris from formerly Mother's Barbecue. Now it's Get Out and Grill. And we had a great day, man. The Bo Jackson story. Yeah, okay, I'll get to that right now. And I got to meet Bo Jackson. Actually, Justin and I did. Justin got one up on me because he interviewed Bo Jackson. I mean, this is a big barbecue convention. It's it's a yearly thing. I think they're doing it virtual this year, but that year it was in Dallas, and it was at this big indoor and outdoor area. And we walked through the inside. We got to the outside, and I don't know if that was the first or second time that we were on the outside, but I'm standing there, and there's this life-size, I think you call him a fathead or whatever, the life-size, stand-up cutouts of Bo Jackson. And Justin and I are like, it's Bo Jackson, whatever. And here I look left. If I'm not telling this story right, just correct me. But I look over to the left, and here's Bo Jackson in the flesh serving cuts of steak to people, like literally 10 feet from us. And I'm like, dude, I told Justin, I'm like, dude, that's Bo Jackson. He's like, nah. I'm like, yeah, dude, that is Bo Jackson right there. He's here. And I went up to him right away, and I'm like, dude, fist bump, or I wanted to get a picture with him. I'm sorry, that's what it was. I wanted a picture with him, and he's like, no, dude, I can't. He goes, I'd love to, man. I'd love to, brother, but if I do it, then I'm going to be here. I'm not here for that. And if I do it, everyone's going to see, and I'm going to be here taking selfies with people for the next 12 hours. So he's like, just give me a quick fist bump, and I did. So bump knuckles with Bo Jackson. And then I don't know exactly how it went down, but I think it was some other guys that were there. If they were the meter guys, maybe. I think it was the meter guys, because I think they were intermingling with Bo Jackson's meat company, and they got us to kind of get a little bit closer to Bo later on in the day. And Justin actually got to interview him, and it was awesome, man. I took video and photos of Justin interviewing him. It was the Beefer people, yeah. But it was great. It was just such an awesome. I mean, Bo Jackson, in my opinion, he's the best athlete to ever play any sport. So, and I'm into sports, so it was just an awesome, experience, and to share that with Justin. And I don't even think the rest of the guys, Justin, did the rest of the guys even know who he was? Like, I don't think there was really anybody else into sports except you and I. I don't remember if I did ask him for an autograph, John. I'm not sure if I did or not, to be honest. I probably did, knowing me, because usually I don't pass up an opportunity like that. But I just think he kind of like shut it down because he didn't want to be signing autographs and taking selfies with people. And, just the opportunity to kind of meet him and hang around the guy for a little bit was super cool. And he's got a great beef company, by the way. Incredibly good. That was probably the second best thing I tasted there that whole day. I think the best thing was the picanha that Craig Tabor was making. Justin, you tell me if you agree. Yeah, he didn't want to do that. That's right. He just didn't want to do any of that stuff. He didn't want it to turn into like people waiting in line to meet Bo Jackson. He actually was perfectly fine. I swear, we must have been the first people to like recognize him, there was all these people around, and he was serving to people, and like nobody knew. And as soon as I laid eyes on the man, I'm like, that's Bo Jackson. And Justin knew it too. And, but I mean, I swear it was almost like, we were the only ones there that knew who the guy actually was. It was just awesome. It was the most awesome thing ever, as far as just running into somebody like that. His arm was incredible, Troy. I mean, I remember watching him make some throws that I just don't think there's any other human being that can make. And then at the accuracy and speed or velocity that he had with his arm was just amazing. And the catches he used to make from center field, I mean, the guy was amazingly fast, athletic, and there was just pretty much nothing that he couldn't do. And he did have enormous hands. Justin's right. It was like, man, I mean, the guy was, and I don't know how old he is now. He's got to be in his 50s. I would imagine he's got to be in his 50s. And dude still looked like he could lace up sneakers right now and go out and play with any of these guys that are out there now in the NFL or the MLB. Oh, somebody was going to call him an Uber. Dude, I didn't even know about that. I can't remember that part of it, honestly. I don't know if that was that like the next day when I wasn't there? Because I know you guys all went back the next day. Either way, that's too funny. Hey, James from Aim 'Em and Claim 'Em is here. We got another superstar in the house. Hey, James, how are you, brother? Thank you for coming in. I appreciate it. Hey, whoever's here, if you haven't hit the thumbs up yet for me, would you please do that? It does help the channel a little bit, and I need all the help I can get, Yeah, I think it was after I left, Justin. I think so, man. All stars abound. Those guys are, man. I don't know about me. Bo Jackson is 58. Dude, that was 2 years ago. He was 55, 56. I'm telling you, that guy was in wonderful shape. I mean, he looks like he could still play just about any sport that he wants, no doubt. Justin, that would be awesome. But I like I said, I just wonder if they would even recognize him. I mean, how could you not recognize him? Was it just me, or did it seem like it was really just us that knew who he was? Because he was like real, it seemed like when he was doing his thing there, he kind of kept his head down, and he wasn't really trying to make eye contact with a lot of people. I think he didn't want to be recognized, and I think he did a pretty good job at staying incognito there until, we open our big mouths. But that was awesome. Hey, Jason, I mean Justin. I think I've heard that joke. That's pretty funny. Thanks, Chris. I appreciate it, man. I do my best. So let's see. Did I miss anything here? I don't think so. It was pretty much me telling that Bo Jackson story, but I think I got everybody's stuff. It was really cool that Guga dropped in here. That was pretty awesome. And yeah, so I think I'm caught up. Still got 28, 29 people here, so I'm going to hang out for as long as you guys want me to. I mean, I got at least another half an hour. I really just wanted to let everybody know why my channel's been a little bit, why I haven't put a new video out on my channel. It's just been crazy to keep up with everything. And I do, again, in case you weren't here in the beginning, I'm creating content for S&S Grills, 1 video a month lately, and I'm doing a couple a month for El Yucateco. And so, those videos I do get done because they're time sensitive. And between that and getting all my stuff, moved here to the house from my office, it's been tough. And now with the warm weather, we have baseball. So my son's got baseball activities like 3-4 nights a week, and on weekends, some weekends, and it's just been really hard. And then there are days when I'll just be honest, if I'm done by 4 o'clock with whatever I'm doing, I really don't mind just sitting on the couch and resting my body a little bit, because the older I get, the worse I feel at night. But I will definitely be doing this video I have a really good video in mind. It's something a little bit different. It's still cooking, but it's going to be, and I'm not going to give it up, but you know, I'm definitely going to be doing a video here that I think people are going to get some good information out of, and so I'm excited to get that out, you know, over the next week, I hope, if not sooner. Let me see here. James, you didn't get an invite, dude? You got to give him some crap for that. Do crappy cuts of meat and make them shine. Briskets are like gold. I can only get. Yeah, I mean, you know, that's an idea that I kind of did a video like that, Chris, but I wouldn't say it's a crappy cut of meat. Like, for example, one thing that I did is I introduced people to Chuck Eye steaks, which there's a lot of people for some reason that don't know Chuck Eye steaks exist, but they're about half the price of ribeye. And I'd say, in my honest estimation, they're about 75 or 80% as good. So you can take a Chuck Eye steak, cook it just like you would a ribeye. I mean, it's not quite as good, but it's half the price. And that's probably the closest thing that I've done to something like that. But give me an example of, you know, give me an example of what you mean, and maybe I'll get something done like that. Thanks, Ash. I appreciate that sub, man. That El Yucateco channel is almost at 10,000 subs. I think we're within 100, and I really want to get that channel over 10K at least, you know, for starters. And it's going really, really well. And the content that we create for them, and actually James from Aim 'em and Claim 'em, who's in the chat here, he's also helping me with that channel, creating some great content. And you know, that content goes all over the internet. It goes to all their social media outlets. So it's, you know, YouTube and Instagram, and now they're starting TikTok stuff up. So, you know, there's going to be a lot of work to them for them to do in the coming months. And you know, I think it's going to be a lot of fun for us. And I'm really honored to be working with them and S&S Grills. Those are both great companies with products that I love and wonderful people that I get to work with. And, you know, that helps me sharpen the knife to create better content for my own channel. So it's really great, you know, it's really great to be doing that stuff, you know, and it really helps my family. It really does. You know, and that's probably the biggest blessing. But yeah, we're going to be getting this video done here that I have in mind. Hopefully, I think Wednesday or Thursday. I'll try to get it edited and up on Saturday morning. If nothing jumps out at me, that's my plan. Let me see. I have a 3-pound flat and 4-pound point with barely any fat left. Let me see. Did you put something else in there before that? Should have been clear trimmed. I see. You know, man, I still think you can make a good cook out of that. And you know, James and Justin are here too, would probably agree with me. I mean, you know, I don't think you'd be able to do that unwrapped. You'd probably want to use foil for that. Okay, yeah, Chris, that's cool. Yeah, but if you wrap it in foil, man, and you know, you get a good bark on it before you do that, I'll bet you can still get those to turn out good. I mean, for the most part, you're trimming off a lot of that stuff anyway when you cook. It just depends on, you know, how far down it is, but you can probably still make a really good cook out of that. Interested in coming to North Alabama? I might be driving through there in a couple months, man, when we go down to Florida. Or actually, no, I won't be going through Alabama. I'm sorry. But, I mean, what's going on in Alabama? Tell me. Pretty far down. Yeah, I mean, typically, you know, we'll trim briskets down to about a 1/4 inch of fat. So, if you know, if you're beyond that, it doesn't mean you can't still do a good cook. You know, it's just you may sacrifice a little bit of moisture. But if you're wrapping in foil anyway after your bark is set, you know, you'll probably still be fine, man. Don't forget, there's still fat inside. Yeah, that's a great point, Justin. The fast cook is probably the way to go with that. You know, like even a little bit higher temperature, and then because then your bark's going to set quicker, you can wrap it quicker, and as it rests, it'll just generate its own, you know, moisture in there. So I think that would probably be a really good way to go about it. And you can inject too, yeah, if you want. I mean, of course, that's not going to hurt matters. That's definitely not going to hurt matters. JW, thank you very much, man. I really appreciate it. Haven't done anything on the Blackstone for a bit, but I will be. You know, I got so many cookers back there that I need to get stuff done on. And like I said, I just been, I mean, I won't lie, I've been falling short with creating consistent content over the last month. There's just been a lot going on in my life, and I've kind of had to prioritize things. And you know, the YouTube algorithm hasn't been great to my channel lately. It seems like I could put out what I think is the best video in the world, and they don't show it to anybody. You know, so that gets a little frustrating. No problem, Chris. No problem at all, man. And the injection, I think, would be a good idea for you. You know, just as a safeguard. That'll just give you, you know, one extra way to make sure it's moist. How do you guys like my little setup in the background here? So that wooden sign, that everyday barbecue sign, that's like 2 feet up and down. And my buddy Steve Adams, he's a woodworker, and he brought that into my office one day. He had made it for me. I had no idea that he was going to make that for me. And he lives right here in the same subdivision as me. Him and I both volunteered for the same baseball league on the commission and as coaches. And there was a couple years where we spent a lot of time together and saw each other, you know, quite often. And he knew what, you know, what passion I had for, you know, for this channel and for everything. And he decided he was going to do that for me and surprise me with it. And I just thought it was super awesome that he did that. And, you know, I also have some cool lighting in here. There's going to be improvements to this. So if I do more live streams, which I will, they probably won't be many, but I kind of want to make them look a little cooler. And I'm also going to figure out how to use, you know, StreamYard or one of those other cool things that all the cool guys are doing now. That one tip, you know, man, it's really easy. I do briskets the same way every time, and I'll tell you exactly what I do. I mean, and you can make it more complicated if you want. You really can, because there's the best brisket I ever made was I dry salt brined it. So I trimmed it, and I did a dry salt brine with Morton's coarse kosher salt. And let me see here. I don't know why that held his comment there. I did a dry salt brine. Now, the dry salt brine is a really good way to, you know, retain moisture in the meat and give it just amazing flavor in every bite. And what you do is you'll trim the brisket, and you'll cover it up just like you would salt any other piece of meat, to keep it simple. You know, with Morton's kosher salt, you can be a little more generous if you want, and you'll put it on a rack so it's elevated over a tray, uncovered in the fridge for 24 to 48 hours. If you go 48, it's going to be even better. The brisket will have this nice, deep, dark red color. That means the salt is absorbed, and as the salt absorbs, it's flavoring it, it's retaining moisture, and it's denaturing the proteins, which means that's helping to tenderize it. So from there, you know, you get your cooker ready, you season it up with hopefully an unsalted rub, because, you know, make your own, because you're already going to have a lot of salt flavor in there from your brine. And you'll smoke it. Now, the salt brine will also help you get a better bark on the outside, or a better crust, because it dries it out a little bit before you even start cooking it. So smoke it at 225 to 275, you know, whatever you want. Obviously, one's going to take longer, one's going to be faster. And once you get that bark that you really want on the outside, that's really the key to it. You know, I see a lot of people, and I'm not an expert on this, like I'm not a barbecue competition cook, but the one mistake that I do see people make is that they think, okay, it hit 160 internal, now I'm supposed to wrap. But that's not true, because if your bark isn't set yet, you don't wrap. You wait till the bark is set, because when you do wrap, it's going to make that bark go backwards, whether you're using foil or butcher paper. Butcher paper will retain the bark better than foil, but foil will tenderize it more and it'll do it quicker. Plus, you'll have some really good brisket gravy in that foil pack that you can use later. um, but so wait till your bark is set. For me, it's usually around 170-ish, to be honest. Then I'll wrap it and I'll let it go for, another however long it is, depending on how big the brisket is, till it's 203, 205. Sometimes it'll take longer. Sometimes it'll be done faster. You go by tenderness at that point. So, if you've got the tenderness you want when you're probing it at 198, then it's done. Then you pull it, and the rest is the most important part. So whether you pull it at 198 or 208, just vent the foil for about 20 minutes, let some of that steam come out when you pull it off the cooker, then wrap it and get it into a cooler for an hour or two. And, once that rest is over, you can slice it, man, and it'll be good. And, it's really hard to nail the perfect brisket. You can be close on either the undercooked or overcooked side, and it's still going to be a great brisket. Most people that come to your house and eat it aren't going to know the difference. But to get that perfect tenderness, it's first of all, it's really hard to do every time unless you do them all the time, like James, or for example, I think James would be one who probably can nail the brisket every time just because he's got a really good feel for it. He does it so much, but other folks might have a hard time with it, but you're still going to eat real good, so if it's either overly tender or maybe not as tender as you want, just a little shy, but if you probe it and you check the tenderness, you're going to be fine. And that was a really long explanation. I hope that helps some people out. And there's really been no other chats here, really. Let me see. Live chat. No, here's something new. I heard Aaron Franklin also smoker is really well built and thought out. Does he have his own brand now? I'm sorry if I'm ignorant to that, JW. I'm not sure if he does or doesn't, but I know he uses Offset when he cooks at his restaurant. What's the name? Sus? Oh, I see what you're doing. All right. It's relatively new. Yeah, I haven't seen it, man. I haven't seen it, unfortunately. There we go. All right. There we go. I had to fix that real quick. Glad I read that. Okay, cool. Yeah, I didn't know that, Ash. I didn't. Hey, Timmy, how are you, man? Thanks for being here. Yeah, Derek, right? I had some weird stuff happen on my last live stream, man. I don't know if they hit like the hold on, let me. So I don't know if these live streams sometimes hit the YouTube homepage and you get some weird people that come in, but it happens. I'm used to it. That's why I got my trigger finger ready here. What does it go for, JW? Is it like $1,000, $1,500, or is it something more than that even? Oh, cool, man. That's cool. I didn't know that it comes up that way. I really didn't know it comes up that way. I thought it was only people that sub to the channel. Is it big bucks, Justin? It sounds like it's a good smoker, though. I don't know. I'm going to have to check into it. I'm interested. Around $1,000. I mean, a good offset's going to run you good money. So I'm not surprised. I mean, it may be even more than that. Internal investigations using computers. Yeah, I imagine. 3,000. Wow. Okay. That's big money. Justin, if you don't mind saying, have you checked it out? Like, how would you compare it to like the Lone Star? $2,900. All right. Haven't seen it in person yet. Okay. Yeah, Ash, it sounds like it's about $3 grand, man, you know. And I mean, I couldn't judge it without seeing it, I guess. Preseason. The pre-seasoning, you know, I mean, I guess that might be cool, but I honestly I'm not sure if that's a big deal. I kind of enjoyed the seasoning process, like on the Lone Star, because that whole process, I kind of got to know the cooker, you know, as far as just how to manage temperatures, what it likes, what it doesn't like. And before I even, you know, did anything with it, really, I seasoned it. So it was a day's process. I don't specifically remember if it was 4 hours or 6 hours, but by the time I got set up and then did it, you know, it took time, but it was really enjoyable, to be honest. I didn't mind that. But and some of the pre-seasoning stuff, like I don't know how that, I don't know if those are any different. But you know, I've had other stuff come here before that said it was pre-seasoned, and then it didn't. I don't know. It just wasn't really pre-seasoned. I still had to season it, like the Camp Chef griddle, for example. That was, and that's a low dollar item. I get it, but that was, you know, something that it was supposed to be pre-seasoned, and it isn't. You still have to go through a seasoning process on it. Maybe not as long as you would like on a Blackstone, but you still had to season it a bit for it to be right. Mad Scientist has one. Okay, I haven't. You know, his stuff shows up in my feed all the time, and I just haven't clicked on anything for a while. So I'm gonna have to go check it out because I'm curious now. All right, folks. Anything else? I still got 34 people here. Um, yeah, JW. I used just Pam or canola oil, you know, and I must have gone through, man, it had to be probably 4 or 5 cans of that stuff that first day, if not more. There was a lot, and I may have overdone it. You know, I really don't know. But I was just kind of going by feel, and I wasn't trying to overdo it. But there's a good chance that I may have used more than I needed. But the cooker's great, and then after you use it for, you know, 3 or 4 times, I was able to season the outside too, and I did that with mineral oil. And now it's just, you know, it looks great, and it's held up really well even through the winter here. Of course, I keep it covered, but when I uncovered it after winter, I was really surprised to see that it was in great shape. So, you know, there was no signs of weathering or anything like that. But I did a really good job at keeping it clean last year, seasoning it properly, and then, you know, after every 2 or 3 cooks, I would throw another coat of outside seasoning on it. And actually, I've got a cleaning video for it, which I haven't edited yet. I got 3 grill cleaning videos that I have not edited yet. And Justin knows this because I was on the phone with him, I think, the day when I was filming them. I did 3 in a day, and I did it all by myself. And the reason, Justin, why they haven't come out yet is because there was a couple of scenes where I wasn't in focus because I'm so used to my wife doing the camera work. So when I got started with it, then I was like, oh, I got to go outside and refilm. But then something else happened, and I didn't. So I got some piecemeal stuff I have to do, and then I'm going to get those out. But it's aggravating because I should have had them out like 3 weeks ago. Yeah, the mineral oil is what they recommended, JW, Lone Star for the outside. And then, you know, Greg from Ballistic Barbecue, he also recommended spray to me. And I think I've got some around here that he likes even better than, you know, than the mineral oil. And I think I bought some and I used it actually, and it was really good stuff. I'll have to look that up, and I'll have to make a post on it because that was some really, really good stuff. It was some product that I think was, um, you know, it's not made just for grills. It's made for all kinds of different metals, but it just so happens that Greg tried it on his Lone Star, and it just worked fantastic. So I believe I put a coating of it on mine too. I'm going to have to look it up and see what the label is on that spray can. But the mineral oil is also great. So you can't go wrong if you're using the mineral oil. Yeah, Justin, I just haven't got, man, I every single one of those videos has one or two things that are like out of focus, and it's always when it's on my face, it seems like. So I'm gonna have to piece a couple clips in there because I don't want to put out a video where I'm out of focus, you know. I mean, it would be easy to do that, but if it's just a second or something, like at some point in the middle of the video, I'm not going to make a big deal out of it. But there's probably a few seconds where it's like that right at the opener, and I had the screen turned towards me, and I hit, just whatever happened, I don't know. I'll get those out, Troy. I did. So here's what I did. I did the Lone Star Extreme Green Penetrating Lubricant. There you go. All right. Yeah. Memorable name is right. So that's the stuff. And I believe you and I both bought that on Greg's recommendation from Amazon. So if anybody wants to, check that out, go ahead and look it up on Amazon. It wasn't very expensive from what I remember. It was about 20 bucks maybe, and it did a really good job on the outside. So, that's just another thing you can use besides mineral oil if you want. Thank you, JW. I really appreciate it. And so what I did is I did my Weber Genesis gas grill. I cleaned that. There's so many people that have huge fires in their gas grill because they don't clean it. So, and I didn't like scrub everything out down to the last detail. I just do a spring cleaning on it every year where I get out all the gunk at the bottom. I clean everything out. I chip away all the buildup, and I'll wipe it out real quick, but nothing too crazy because it's a grill. It's going to get dirty anyway. And with that, I can safely use the grill. Like I can light it up on high and preheat it without having an inferno if I want to sear a steak or whatever. It's just, it works great just that one time a year. And then I also did a Lone Star cleaning video, and I did the Camp Chef Woodwind. I just did it was a little more than your average cleanup. I had to do the inside of the lid and the outside of the lid too. So it wasn't just like your normal pellet grill maintenance cleanup. It was, it was a little bit more than that. But I just kind of thought it would be a good idea to drag people along because there's a cleaner that I use that I wanted people to know about too, and it's called uh, Awesome something awesome. So I'll have a link to that when I get that video out, and I'm hoping to get those out quickly. I just have to piece in a couple clips, and I'll be good to go. And Rusty says just some vegetable oil and a microfiber cloth. That's all. I mean, people use all different methods, and a lot of people, they'll have good success with it, whatever it is. So I know that extreme green stuff is good, and I know the mineral oil works. And Justin just said it's only 23 bucks for a 2-pack, so it's great. And I would say that because it's really like if you spray it on a small area and then you wipe it with a cloth, it spreads out like a long ways. It does more than just that area that you spread it onto. So I think a can would probably be good for 2 to 3 outside seasonings, maybe more. So you'll get a lot of use out of 2 cans. It'd probably last you a year or more. Hey Joe, how you doing, man? Um, Appreciate you being here. Thank you very much. All right, still got 32 people here. Hey, if you're here and you haven't hit the thumbs up yet, do me a favor. Click the thumbs up for me, just to help out if you can. It's good for the channel. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I see they've gone up to 42 now. Foil or paper? Well, Doug, so that's a good question. And for me, I use foil most of the time because my family really loves the brisket will make its own brisket gravy when it's in that foil, and the foil will hold it all, so you don't lose any of it soaked into the paper. And they really love that. Like, it's like the first thing I do when I unwrap the brisket is I'll pour all the juice into like a cup or a bowl, and my kids and my wife, they'll use it for like a topping or a gravy or whatever. Or sometimes you can add things to it and make a more complex gravy if you want. So for me, I always use the foil because they like that. And now, so with the foil, you'll get that benefit, but your bark will go backwards more in foil. If you use paper, your bark will stay intact more, and it'll still be wonderful. I think most big barbecue joints use foil, use butcher paper, you know, because the bark is a big deal to them, and the bark's still good in foil. Don't get me wrong. It's just it gets steamed more, so it's not as good as as it is with butcher paper. But so that's really the choice that you have. You know, if you want that gravy and that, you know, left over, then go with foil. If you want to have better bark preservation, then use butcher paper. You know, I've seen some people do both. I think Harry Sue used both on a hot and fast cook where he wrapped it in butcher paper and then wrapped that in foil. So it was like a double, you know, a double whammy, but you're still going to lose the gravy with that. So it's really up to you in terms of what's more important to you. Thanks, Ash. I really appreciate it, man. Thank you for being here. Thank you for the support. And, you know, I just thank you very much for being here. It means a lot to me. No, Rusty, I have not. I have not. Is that, you have to tell me what that is because I haven't even heard of it, to be honest. And that doesn't mean it's not a big deal. It just means I haven't heard of it. My chat keeps freezing, it seems like. Here, let me see. See if I can wake it up. There we go. I can move it again. All right. Darnell, how are you? Thanks for being here, man. Cheers. Foil on bottom, open on top. No, man, I have not tried that. I suppose that would probably be a way to preserve that bark on that top area. So that would be something interesting. I'd be interested to see if it adds to cook time at all, you know? Like if it you know, and how much it would add. If it's another hour, half hour, whatever that would be, or longer. But that would probably be a really cool something to try. Thanks, Tammy. I really appreciate it. That's easy, Derek. It's burgers, man, every time. And just a little, you know, that's the video that I'm going to be doing this week, I hope, is I just want to show people how I make burgers at home, you know, because when I'm at the store buying the stuff, you know, to make burgers for my family, it's not like I'm buying high-end meat or, you know, anything out of the ordinary, but I see people buy these frozen burgers or pre-made patties all the time. And the pre-made patties are fine if they're fresh, but they're still not as good as making your own patty. And there's reasons for that. And so I'm going to show people how to make a really perfect burger patty. Very, very simple tool that you can use for that, and cook just a perfect backyard burger. And that's actually what I'm going to do. But that's what, you know, pretty much anytime that we're just looking for like something quick to make, you know, Vienna hot dogs are always a hit here, you know, because we live in the Chicago area. So just throw a pack of Viennas on the cooker and that's good. But, you know, I like to make burgers because you can do, you know, so much with burgers, different burger sauces. And I just whip stuff up, you know, like originally when I started my channel, that was kind of what I was, because I'll just grab stuff out of the cabinets and I'll make a burger sauce, and then I won't remember like what I did, you know, or how much of what I used, but it always turns out good. And you know, then what happens is that uh, I can't share that recipe with anyone, so I had to sort of evolve my channel into letting people know, okay, 1 teaspoon of this, half a cup of that, whatever, so that people can make it, because I realize that people want to do it. They don't just want to see me whip stuff up, you know, they want to be able to make it. So I had to kind of change a little bit of my approach, but I do that a lot. If it's just like any other night, it's you know, I mean, I just grab stuff out of the cabinets, and you know, sometimes it'll be you know, I'll take like a barbecue sauce and throw some garlic and onion and black pepper or and jalapenos, and just simmer that down and make it thick, and top the burgers with that, or grab some Duke's mayo and then drop a few ingredients in there and mix it up and make a burger sauce with that. And this other device that was sent to me a while back, I've done these videos on bucket burgers. I did one on my channel probably 3 years ago. I did one for S&S Grills 2 years ago, where I hand shaped the patty. And I know I'm not the first one to do it. I think Barbecue Pit Boys, they called it beer can burgers or whatever. I call them bucket burgers. But there's a company out there called Ultimate Burger Press, I think, and they make this little plastic, shaper, and all you do is flip it over and put some plastic wrap, and you stuff it and flip it over, and you've got the perfect bucket burger. So then you can, if you saw any of my social media stuff in the last couple of weeks, then I one time I put some like giardiniera and Italian seasoning and some green peppers, and made it like an Italian beef burger. You can put marinara sauce and mozzarella cheese. It can be like a pizza bucket burger. You can just you can put mushrooms and green peppers and onions and garlic, or you can do so many different things. And so burgers are a long-winded answer, I know, but burgers are the thing that, if we're just looking for a quick dinner, I can whip up 8 handmade patties in 10 minutes. And I can cook them on the Weber gasser in another 10 to 15 minutes. So within, half hour, 40 minutes from start to finish, we could be eating a really good dinner, and it doesn't cost a lot of money. Let me see. What did I miss here? Let me see. Is 1:30 p.m. too early for 4th of July barbecue? No, don't think so, man. It's never too early. Have your family and your friends out as early as you can and enjoy the day. I love pellet grills, Isaac. My Camp Chef Woodwind is one of the most, my Weber Genesis and my Weber Kettle. Those are probably the 3 that I use most often, out of any of them. And it just depends on what I'm in the mood for, to be honest. Have you tried Costco Angus burger? I haven't, and I just don't use frozen stuff, Babs. But I do buy their ground chuck, and that's what I make my burgers out of most of the time. There's a store across the street that I have here, a grocery store, which I try to shop small and local when I can. But there was a butcher there that was really good, and he quit like a year ago. And since then, some of the stuff there it doesn't look as fresh, and I don't want to feed that to my family. So sometimes I'll buy from a bigger place. But no, I have not tried those, to answer your question. Yeah, Doug, give it a shot, man. You're going to see the bark is going to stay intact more, and it's still going to be super juicy. There's still going to be, it's going to be really, really good. But again, my family just loves having that gravy out of that foil. So that's why I always do it that way. Because if I'm going to spend all the time to make it for them, I'm going to do it their way so that I don't have to hear about it later when they don't have their gravy. Do you griddle more than barbecue on the Weber? No, I haven't been griddling a lot lately. For whatever reason, there's no specific reason. I just haven't done a lot of griddling. I did some smash burgers a couple weeks back, and I think that's the last thing I made on the griddle. But the family loves when I cook on it. We do chicken fajitas on there a lot. Vegetables on the griddle are just crazy good. And so any kind of fajitas and stuff like that they love. But for whatever reason, I haven't done a lot of griddling lately. I couldn't tell you why, because it's not like I've been purposely staying away from it. We've just been doing other stuff. JW, that stinks, man. You gotta find a way to get a cooker out there. There you go, electric smoker on your balcony. There you go. And yeah, Rusty, that's another thing, grinding your own beef. Like, I buy mine already ground, just to make it easy. But that's another thing too, is if you want to put a little more time into it, ground your own beef, then you can use anything you want. If it's steak, you can even grind brisket. You can do so many different things, and it's great. Yeah, the 8812. I'll be honest, man. 8020 is great. And I use 8020 when I buy across the street. But if they don't have what I'm looking for, I'll use that Costco ground chuck, and that 8812 does just fine. Those burgers are still incredibly juicy, and they won't shrink as much. So there's benefits to it. The trick is not overcooking it, right? Because that's what a lot of people do. They'll wait till they look like hockey pucks. So the real trick is to is to get them off the cooker at the right time. And for me, my wife likes everything well done, so I'll pull hers off around 160, and by the time it rests up, it's well done, but it's not overcooked. All the rest of us, like me, my son, my daughter, I'll pull those burgers around 130, 135, and they'll rest up a little bit. They're nice and red on the inside. They're juicier. They're just really, really good. Let's see. Yeah, smash burgers are great, Backyard. They are. Made them a couple weeks back. Griddle or plancha. I haven't used my plancha yet. I got one from S&S, and I still have to use it. So I haven't used it, but I know it's going to be great. I have a couple friends of mine that already use them and love them. So, but the Blackstone is what I usually cook on when I'm outside. Griddling, that is, when I'm outside griddling. Travel Bug, thank you. I appreciate it. God bless you as well. Oh, JW, yeah, man, that was incredible. My little girl, she still talks about that video and that steak. That outside skirt steak came from it came from Matt at gosh, what was the name of his company? I feel so bad that I don't remember his company. It was in Dallas. Justin, you'll know. A good one, Justin. What was Matt's name from down there, man? The meat guy. Gosh. My gosh, why can't I remember the name of the Matador Meats? Thank you very much, Joe. So Matador Meats. Anyway, he sent that outside skirt steak was incredible, and my little girl to this day, because when I did that video, she was here, and she ate that stuff, and she still reminds me. She's like, nothing's as good as that steak you made, and she knew it was from Matt, and she always calls Matt mattress for some reason. I don't know why. I mean, she's 8, so give her a break. She's like, is that mattress's steak? Every time I cook steak, she wants to know if it's that steak, and I told her I can't get it anymore. Not anything that good anyway. I haven't had anything that good as that. That was just amazing. Let's see. Your wife too, Doug? Well done. Everything. I always have to time everything, for everybody. Well, see, Troy, that's the thing, man. If you do the burgers the way I'm going to show you, the texture is a little different. It's a little different than when you buy pre-made burger patties or when you just form them by hand. It's much more pleasing, and you can cook it medium, and it stays together, and it's absolutely delicious. So I'm excited to get this video out, so that people can see what I mean. Fajitas on the Blackstone also, like I said, amazing. I love it. And then your chop dust goes good on anything, man. Hey, listen, I've got Saucy Bottom Barbecue in here for everybody. If you're interested, if you like different seasonings and an awesome barbecue sauce, go check out his site, Saucy Bottom Barbecue. I've been using his products for a couple of years. He's got it's called Barnyard Magic, so it's like a chicken seasoning, but it's so good on beef. It's incredible. He has a seasoning that's called Chop Dust, which is like the best pork seasoning on steroids. I mean, it's just amazing. And he's got a really, really wonderful barbecue rub and a wonderful barbecue sauce. So check out his stuff and place an order. He's a small company. He just started. He spent a lot of money to get his products produced, and he stopped here a couple of weeks back. He had a truckload of stuff, and he lives down in Southern Illinois, but he drove up. It was, well, maybe not Southern, Central Southern, and his manufacturer's up here in my area. He stopped here and dropped some stuff off, and I got to see him again. So yeah, if you're interested in some really good seasonings and sauces, check him out, place an order, help him out. Small business just getting going. And, I know it's his dream to sell that stuff all across the country. And in my opinion, it's worth it and it's worthy. I hope he gets there. It's hard to beat that outside skirt, Rusty. There you go, Ash. Yeah, that's one way to do it. I can't say that though. I try to, when I'm cooking for people, I try to please everybody. Whatever their temperature is that they want the meat to come off at, I really try to nail it, and I'm pretty good at it. I've gotten good at it over the years. Hey Don, thanks for coming in. Appreciate it. Justin, no, he was in the Dallas area. I want to say it was a Dallas address, but it wasn't. It was right there. Isaac, yeah, Guga was here earlier. Hung out in the chat for a little while. So yeah, I watch Guga all the time, and he was actually hanging out here in the chat a little while ago. Taco Bell burger was outstanding. I mean, I still have some of that nacho fry seasoning, and I don't know if it's good anymore. I guess you could probably still use it, but that burger was just amazing, man. I haven't, to be honest, I haven't made another one since, but I did it sort of as a dedication to my daughter because she loves Taco Bell. So I wanted to, kind of do that for her, and she really, really enjoyed it. So that was my main reason for doing it. And I thought the video was really going to take off, and it just, like a lot of videos I do, it's like a couple, 2, 3, 4, 5,000 views, and then it just sits there, and I can't imagine, like, there's so much creativity in that video. I thought it was a great video. Just YouTube didn't show it to anybody. Hey Troy, how are you, man? I hope you're doing well. Thanks for you just missed, so you missed Justin, you missed James, and Guga was in here earlier. I can't remember who else, and I feel bad about that, but there was at least one more or two more other channels that that were in here. But thanks for joining, man. I appreciate it. Life is good. Life is good. I hope you're doing well there. I know your birthday just passed. Happy birthday again. If I didn't text you, I thought I texted you. I'm not sure if I did. Thanks, Doug. Yeah, I have a couple pork belly burn ends, videos that just came out, and they were both amazing. Slightly different recipes, just based on client request, but both amazing recipes. And then I did some test cooks to test both those recipes. So I've had so much pork belly burn ends in the last month, I don't really want to see anymore for a while, to be honest, because I just feel so full after that. It's like you can't stop eating them, and then it'll take me a couple of days to not feel like, like I just ate 10 pounds of burn ends. And JW, no, man, I've never done any sous vide stuff. I feel bad. My channel is 3 years old, and I've just never gotten into it. And I know it's amazing and epic, and I feel bad that I haven't. But I haven't. I just haven't done any. Yeah, Travel Bug. I know it sucks, but all I could do, I've got a YouTube circle of friends, good friends that I've made, and we all talk about the same stuff all the time, but wondering why certain, let me get this focus back, wondering why certain videos don't do better than others, and some don't get shown to people at all, and it's just a mystery. But it's like I always say, is that we just have to control what we can control and keep making videos, and you always hope your next one's going to be the banger, right? That one's going to be the big one. But I mean, you know, it's really out of my hands. All I can do is make the best video I can make and, you know, do all the back end work as best I can do it. And I put it out there, and, you know, whatever happens is in the hands of YouTube at that point. And they just unfortunately uh, don't always get shown to as many people as I think they should. But I think every YouTuber would tell you that. I think we all think that we feel like we're doing better than maybe they think we are. You know, I don't know, but I'm not going to quit and keep making videos. I love it. I enjoy it. And it's been a blessing for my family. So, you know, I'm not going to quit. I'm just going to deal with it, make my next video. That's all I can do. Hey, Mark, thanks for being here, man. I appreciate it. For anybody who just got in, and if they haven't yet, you know, click that thumbs up for me. It does help. So if you wouldn't mind, I'd really appreciate it. And Dodger fan here, man. Dodgers are, what are the Dodgers? I haven't checked in on them, but I don't know why. I haven't followed a lot of the MLB stuff, man. Even the Cubs games, I've been out of the loop. But the Cubs are playing unbelievable for the last 6 weeks. So I'll take that. I think we're a top 5 or 6 team in the MLB now, top 3 in the National League. So I don't even know. What's the Dodgers record? You guys are probably playing better than the Cubs, but I mean, man, the way the Cubs are playing now, I'm pretty happy. But we'll see. We'll see if it holds up. Zach Davies threw a gem yesterday. Was it yesterday or today? I think it was yesterday. Thanks, JW. I really appreciate it. I really, really do appreciate it. Oh, I know, Troy. Yeah, believe me. You know, I've had some that did really well, and now it's been so long since I've had another one that carried. You know, and you know how it is. You let a video out, and for 24, 48, 72 hours, that's when you get, you know, all the views you're going to get, right? And then there's just, they'll either fall off the cliff or they'll just hang in there, and but they kind of lose activity after that. And that's been the story for the last probably year, you know, with stuff that I've put out. It's weird. It was like, I have a theory on it, but I don't know how deep you go into the analytics, so I don't know if you know, I don't know if it would make sense or not. But when I made Creator on the Rise last February, not this one, but last February, so 2020, or was it 2020? Gosh, man, I can't remember most of this stuff anymore. But I had Creator on the Rise, and what happened is they showed my stuff to so many people that my click-through rate went from like 5 or 6 and plummeted down to 1 point something or 2 point something. And then it affected the analytics on my channel for like many months. I couldn't dig myself out of the rut. So, you know, it was just really weird. And I wonder if that still has an effect on the channel now. So what looks like a blessing ends up being a curse in a sense. It's just really, really strange. And yeah, your cabbage soup video, man, wow. I remember talking about this with you when we were in the car in Dallas on our way to you know, on our way to the barbecue convention. I remember speaking about that. That was right around the time I think it started to just take off, right? So that was like 2 years ago, roughly, something like that. I think it was 2019. I just had this conversation with Justin. It was 2019. We were talking about Bo Jackson when we met Bo Jackson. But yeah, so I know it's weird. But your channel is growing like crazy, man, and I couldn't be happier for you. And you deserve it. You deserve it. Dodgers are 39-26, 1 game back. Yeah, they're still, dude, they're going to be hard to beat, man. They're a good club. I mean, I'm just glad that you know, the Cubs are playing good baseball, because the start of this year, dude, oh, I was so pissed that we let go of Darvish and Schwarber. You know, guys were going all over the place, and then we came out and we were playing mediocre baseball. I think our first 10 games we did all right, and then it was like, you know, a month and a half of just what seemed like forever of just terrible baseball, and then they picked things up. So I mean, I'm happy about that. Thanks, Ash. I appreciate it. Yeah, I know I've said it already, everybody, but if you're here and you haven't, thumbs up yet, click that for me. It does help. I appreciate it very much. Hey, Tom, how are you, man? Oh, I saw that. I saw your son's photos. You posted that on Facebook, man. That had to be unbelievable to see that. I mean, that would be like my son playing at Wrigley, for high school, which won't happen because it's so far away from where we live. But I mean, yeah, that had to be just amazing. And I think you said he logged a hit there, so and scored a run. So that's just amazing, man. Congratulations to both of you guys. That's a memory that you're going to cherish forever. And I couldn't be happier for you guys. My son and I, we talk about it all the time. I mean, I'm a big believer in, you know, you have to believe things are going to happen if they're ever going to happen. I don't think things happen on accident. I know it may seem like it sometimes, but I tell him, I say, man, you have to grow up planning on being the Cubs first baseman. You got to shoot for the stars. You just have to know it's going to happen. And that's the only way that you can put everything in motion that you need to make it happen. If you just lollygag around in your mind and you're not focused, it's like, how do you ever expect anything good to happen? So I try to teach him that. And, fortunately, I have a really, really good, well, all my kids are great, but just because I'm talking specifically about my son, he's just finished seventh grade. And ever since he's been getting letter grades, he's never gotten anything less than an A. It's always been A plus. So he's had straight A's his whole scholastic career to this point. Always getting, commendations for this, that, and the other thing. And I'm just so proud of him. And, he's also a phenomenal athlete. And most importantly, he's a good kid. He's a good human being. And I get so many compliments about him all the time. And I'm just so proud. I'm just so proud of him. The other day, I think it was, what's today, Monday? So it was Friday night. We had a game in Genoa, which is about 45 minutes from where I live. And it was a real hot night. It was still in the 90s when we went out there. So, we were out there, and the kids on his team, they were all like half asleep. I mean, it was like they got crushed. I think it was 18-5 or something. They just got their asses kicked. And the coaches and parents were coming up to me after, and they were like, your son is such a good kid that we're out there getting our butts kicked, and all these other kids were moping and, putting their heads down and shrugging their shoulders. And here, my son, he plays first base. He was there laughing and joking with everybody that came to first base, from the other team or whatever. And when he hit, it was the same thing. He was messing around, laughing. And the one thing I taught him about playing is I said, I want you to smile all the time, whether, no matter what happens. If you go out there and hit a home run, which he's hit a lot of, or you get a single or a double or you strike out, I want you to be smiling when you're walking back to the dugout, because if you're not having fun, nothing else matters. And it's really soaked in with him because he does that. And the other night I had parents coming up to me just saying, your kid's got such a great attitude. And I'm just so proud. I'm just so proud because that's what you have to do. That's what you have to do in life, because no matter how hard you try, no matter what happens and what comes your way, if it's luck, good luck, bad luck, my buddy Lyle over at No Hippie Barbecue, he worded it the best. It's something that I've always known, but he always says you can't skip the struggle, and that's what he teaches his kid. And it's so true. Like, you're going to have struggles in your life. You can't avoid them. And it's how you deal with them that's going to determine what happens to you in the long run, right? So, I'm trying to teach him that. And I know he's, got a lot of challenging years ahead of him as he deals with, becoming a man. But I really feel like he's going to keep his head in the game and do well. And I'm just proud of him. So, yeah, anyway, there's my rant about my kid. Yeah, Mark, I agree, man. And you know what? It's really his doing. I get teachers that call me and they're like, I just want you to know. And every time the phone rings and I see it's the school, I'm like, oh no, but uh, they're always positive calls. It's like, I just want you to know how much I love your son, or how much your son helps out this other kid, or he does something positive in class, or he's getting great grades, or he does what he's supposed to do, like whatever it is, or he's great attitude. And I get these calls all the time, and I tell those people all the same thing. I'm like, I raised him, but I'm not him. He's him. The credit goes to him. And so many parents try to raise their kids and teach them the right stuff, and kids don't always do it. And I'm fortunate enough that my kids are doing it, and I'm very, very lucky, and I'm very, very fortunate. And it's not like that for all parents. I don't always think that a bad kid is a product of a bad parent, and it's vice versa. Now I do try very hard to, to be as good a parent as I can, but it's really more about him than it is me, to be honest. Let me see if I missed anything here. I just had something I had to delete. Some moron that came in here. I always get like 2 or 3 with every live chat. Positive thinking is a big deal, Everett. Big deal. Habanero fried rice was a winner, man. My little girl ate that and she loved it. She still asked for it. I haven't made it again. Oh, here's another. I just found another idiot. Here, let me dump them really quick. Let me see here. I think I'm caught up now. Yeah, I guess, Tom. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know where they come from, man. I really don't. Still got 39 people here. Hey, Jim, thanks for joining. I appreciate it. So I'll hang out for just a little bit longer. If you just got here, or if you haven't yet, give me that like or that thumbs up. It helps the channel a lot. I really appreciate it. Richard, I haven't made birria, man. I keep wanting to do it, and I just haven't. I'm sorry. I can't wait to do it because I want it so bad, and I've never had it. And there's no places around here that I know of that make it. So it's not even like I can cheat and just go buy it and try it. I got to make it to have it. And I've seen a few recipes. I think it's pretty easy. I could do it. I just haven't done it. Travel, I appreciate that, and I agree with you 100%. I think if you show initiative and if you do the right things, I think the right things will happen for you to get what you want out of life. I really feel that way, but it's never easy. There'll be easy times, but most of the time it's not going to be easy. There'll be struggles and difficulties, and those are the things that are hard for all of us to cope with. I mean, even me, I'm 45. I'm going to be 46 in a month and a day, and I still have really bad days sometimes. It's just part of life. But I look around me and I make those feelings go away pretty quickly. I'm very, very lucky. I have a place to live, cars to drive, food to cook and eat, people to talk to, a beautiful wife, 3 great kids. So, even somebody like me that's so happy with life, I can have bad days, but it's easy for me to dismiss that stuff most of the time because I focus on what's around me, and that you lose sight of things sometimes. And I think you just have to focus back in on that stuff. Ash, those are great words. I speak them to my kids all the time. I do, Troy. You're one of them, man. We don't talk much, but you're a good dude. You're a good dude. I think we really connected well down in Dallas, and I hope to see you guys again at some point pretty soon. Google was talking about connecting. I'll be down there in July. I'm going to Cape Coral, finally going on a vacation and all this craziness. I'll be gone for about 9 or 10 days, and you know, if he's in town, we're gonna connect because he's in Miami. It's not too far, but we'll see. You know, if not, it's no big deal. But I would love to do that. There's so many good people that I've met on here. It's crazy. I mean, it really is. It's been such a big part of my life. Probably the most important thing about starting my channel. Yeah, birria's got to be good, man. It looks good. I just have you ever made it, Troy, or do you just? I mean, I'm sure down there in Texas, you probably got places everywhere that you can get it. But have you made it? You know, I'm gonna have to make it because I don't think anywhere around here that has it. There's taco trucks and there's taco places and Mexican restaurants, and that's my favorite food. But none of them have birria. So sorry about this noise over here. My wife's printing some stuff. Yeah, Jim, look it up, man. Uh, there's a ton of videos on it, and it just looks so good. There's some Instagram channels that they're just dedicated to birria. They're restaurants, like birria restaurants. I think mostly like in California or Texas, and I mean they just look amazing. I the stuff that they post is crazy. There's even birria ramen, which I would eat the heck out of that. Let me see something here. Nope, I can't click on that. I got to learn how to use like StreamYard or something like that. Yeah. Got to taste birria from a Spanish restaurant. Well, then you know it was good, right, Troy? Justin, we went out and got food tonight because I was working on my office here at home for the last 3 days straight, from morning till night, and I just didn't feel like cooking. So my little community here that I live in, it's they have these food trucks come out every Monday, and so we just went to the food trucks and we picked up a pizza for the kids, and my wife and I got the taco truck because we love Mexican food, and it was really good. Oh, Troy, I didn't know you had a birria recipe, man. I didn't know you made a video. I'm gonna have to look that up. Was that recent? I hate to keep asking you stuff and have you keep typing, but well, I guess it doesn't matter. I can find it on your channel. I'm gonna have to check that out. Might have to steal some pointers from you there. Okay, I'll check it out, man. I will. I don't know why I haven't seen your video yet, because I've done searches for it, but maybe I just went right past it. Yeah, Justin, I have all the recipes in the video description. It's in it's in the pinned comment. And I have to tell people this all the time, but I even have it on the thumbnail. It says recipes in the pinned comment. It's on the thumbnail. So if you look at the pinned comment on that video, you'll see the sauce and the dough recipe in there. Thanks, Ash. We're happy to have you too, man. I'm happy to have all the support from everybody. It just really means a lot to me. Yeah, so it's funny, Travel Bug. I tried that. I did a couple like reviews, like restaurant reviews or like food reviews, probably a year or two ago, and honestly, they didn't do well. You know, the algorithm just didn't like them because it's not my typical content, and they didn't do well. So I actually was going to start a whole nother channel doing just what you suggested there, but then COVID hit, and you know, then you couldn't go anywhere forever. So I haven't put it on hold. I just haven't, you know, haven't been eager to go out and do it again, just because so much has gone on during this time that it's kind of dragged me in lots of different directions. But it is something that I am going to do because I want to. I just want to build, and those are easy videos to shoot. You know, that's the thing. When I shoot videos here at home, I got 3 cameras, I got 4 lights, I got uh, 2 or 3 different pieces of audio equipment. And then when I go outside, I got to lug all that stuff with me outside, and then I got to lug it all back. I mean, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work, and then editing everything, right? So it's a day to shoot. By the time you set up, clean up, and everything else, and then a whole nother day to edit everything. You know, so it's a lot of work. But these like fast food review videos, I can shoot those on my phone. It's 1 camera. My audio's right there. I've got a little Rode mic that I plug into it, and they're like a 10-minute edit, you know, because I'm not syncing clips and changing views and adjusting stuff. I'm just rolling with it. So it's easy stuff, and I wanted to do it. I had every intention on doing it, but I didn't get back to it. You know, I didn't get back to it because of the whole slowdown we had around the world. You know, and that's a good point too, Troy. Like I'm the same way. I know there's videos that like subject matter that I'm sure I could make that I'd probably, you know, I think they would do better in terms of the demand for the video, but I'm not interested in it, you know, and I don't want to do something just because I'm doing it for whatever reason. Like I want to have inspiration. Every video that I make, there's inspiration behind it that I'm feeling about it. So, you know, if I'm not feeling inspiration, I'm not shooting it and I'm not doing it. So I agree with you 100%. And that probably costs me a lot in terms of statistics, but I'm going with my gut or my heart. I don't know, whatever you want to call it. Oh, for sure, Troy. Yeah. I mean, the amount of time and you know, everything that you know, and then there's I don't know about you, but I get like anxiety over, you know, because if you really think about it, you know, if you want to make a good video, you're counting on so many things that you have to remember to do. There's, you know, certain things you want to remember to say or show. Uh, relying on the equipment to do what it does, you know, in terms of video and audio and lighting. And then, of course, the food's got to cooperate, right? Because, you know, some of these cooks, they're not easy cooks. And so you're out there all day filming a brisket, and you're like, man, when it's resting, you're like, oh, man, I hope when I cut into this thing, I hope it's going to be good. I hope it's going to be presentable, you know? And so yeah, there's just so much that goes into it, you know. And when I'm just cooking for the family, sometimes I make the best food because I'm not stressed about anything else. I'm just totally relaxed and just, you know, spending time with them and cooking and doing what I love, and it's just so easy. It's just so easy. Oh, I see, travel bug. Yeah, others. Yeah, I mean, so that's another thing I probably should do, and I've thought of it. I just haven't really had anything that, you know, that I guess gave me enough inspiration to get up and do it. Uh, Probably haven't spent a lot of time thinking about it, but you know, it's something that I think is a great idea. Let's just put it that way. And I may very well do it. I haven't. I haven't done a lot of copycat stuff. I think I did one. It was like the Culver's, uh, you know, cheddar melt or something like that. I can't even remember what it's called now, but you know, I've done a couple. It just haven't been inspired by many, I guess. Yeah, Carlos, the bark is what you got to worry about. So, you know, if your bark is set, and remember, if you, depending on what you're going to wrap with, if you're going to wrap with foil, the bark's going to go backwards if you wrap in foil, more so than it is with butcher paper. So, you kind of got to say, okay, I've got my bark, and then give it a little bit longer before you wrap, especially if you're going to use foil. um, but the bark is really the big deal. It's not so much the target temp for the wrap. You know, people will, the thing I always hear is 160 or 160 or 165. Oh, it's time to wrap. Well, is the bark set yet? You know, if the bark's already set, great, wrap it. You know, if it's not, then no, you need to wait longer, because if you know, if you wrap too soon, your bark's going to just come off, and it's going to be a disappointing cook. And any kind of a cook like that where you're wrapping the protein, you know, it's going to be a long cook. So you want to get it as right as you can. Yeah, Everett, you really are. You know, you're counting on a lot of things to go right, and I'm always double checking everything, you know, that I can possibly control. But even so, there's been times I've had to edit around things, or and that's one of the things I loved about going to multiple cameras, is that it helps edit out stuff. If it's something that's out of focus or somewhere where I trip on my words, you know, sometimes just changing the camera angle, it's a much better transition than a jump cut. And so, you know, having more cameras is more work, but it also helps you make a better quality video. So, you know, I'm up to 3 now, and sometimes I'll even use 4 with the phone. And it's a lot of work, but I mean, you know, I'm trying to put out the best stuff that I can. So it's just my technique. I know there's other things you can do if you want to shoot with just one camera. You know, you can cut breaks with B-roll and do lots of stuff, which I also do. But yeah, there's a lot to focus on, you know, and then of course the food, you know, the cook. Does the cook go the way you want it to? Does it come out right? It's another big part of it. Folks, I've been on here an hour and a half. I think I'm gonna break and go hang out with the kids and the wife for a little while. But I really appreciate everybody's support. We had some really great people here tonight. And I'm very grateful for you all being here. So thank you very much. Let me see. Troy says batteries every couple years. You're right, man. Especially like my oldest camera, that thing's, if it's a long video, like it's basically dead by the time I'm done. My wife's in the back going like this, you know, like hurry up before the camera dies. But I haven't had to replace the battery yet, but I know it's coming, especially for camera 1, and then camera 2 is coming up not too far down the road. And Troy, that's another thing I haven't gotten into, is the shorts. I need to, you know, I really, really do. It's just that, to be quite frank, I haven't figured out how to properly format them yet. When I've tried one, I just didn't get it to format correctly. So if I spend a day on it, I'm sure I'll figure it out, but I just haven't done it. I think YouTube's made it easier now for creating a short. Like you can just do it right from the app on the phone, but I haven't tried it. I don't know if if it's got its own editing, you know, stuff or whatever, but it is something that I need to work on. I've seen some channels grow significantly on those shorts. But see, then again, it's like, you know, if you're not really doing that type of content and then your channel grows on that content, is it really good growth? Because what are people going to do when you release your normal 8 to 10 minute video? You know, are they going to watch it, or are they going to jump ship? You know, and then how does that affect the algorithm? You know, but I think I'm missing the boat by not being on board with it. So I agree with that as well. All right, everybody. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. And, you know, if you haven't, just real quick, one last time, if you haven't hit that thumbs up yet, just do it one more. Just do it for me real quick before you check out. And I've been on an hour and 39 minutes, so I'm going to go and spend some time with the family. But I enjoyed hanging out with you guys, and I hope to see you again here with a video release in the next few days. That's my intention. So thank you all very much. Troy and Everett and Dave and you know, Tammy and Travel and just everybody that's been here. We had Baby Back Maniac was here, and we had Aim 'em and Claim 'em. We had Guga. So it was a fun chat. I had a wonderful night, and I hope you guys all stay safe. God bless, and I will see you very soon. Okay, take care.